Hello, thank you for joining me for some floor-based yoga today. Everything we do will be either kneeling, sitting, lying down, so hopefully accessible for you today, and just making sure you do whatever you can. Yoga is about your body and working with your body, and we all have very different bodies, very different skeletons, so things always look different on all of us. I'm Caroline. I'm also known as the Yoga Crow. Mr. Crow is just there watching over us, checking in with us as he's a true yogi. So I'm going to start kneeling today. You may want to come sitting cross-legged. You can decide which is the most comfortable position to begin in today. But wherever you are, trying to sit up tall. So if you can, bring some length to your spine all the way to the crown of your head, and rolling your shoulders up, back and down gently. Having your hands in a comfortable position, and maybe even closing down the eyes. We're going to come to focus on our breath. And in yoga, we try and breathe in and out through the nose. This is a really efficient way for the breath. Nurturing the body with all the oxygen we need for each individual cell. Can you feel the breath as it comes in through the nostrils? Maybe you can feel how it's a little bit warmer as it leaves the body. Still sitting tall if you can. And concentrating on the breath. Can you slow your breath down a little more? Can you feel your lungs expanding, your rib cage expanding? And then we're gently going to tuck our chin into our chest, open our eyes, and bring our head back up to center. To begin with, we're going to come into a little balance. So I'm going to turn the side on so you can see what I mean. And I'm going to make fists out of my hands and have them either side of my knees. So as soon as I do that, I need to bring my shoulders back just a little bit. And then I'm going to push into my hands. So pushing into my hands, I'm lifting my knees up and then gently letting go. So we're doing a lot of arm work here. We're strengthening the arms and gently stretching the feet as well. So drawing the shoulders back. So what I mean is sometimes our shoulders are up by our ears. Can we bring them back down and then push into our hands to lift our knees up? We're going to do that 3 more times. Maybe you can get a little bit further or a little bit higher each time. Lovely. And coming back to sitting. So yoga is really good for strengthening our bones. So we're strengthening our bones as well as stretching our muscles. We're going to come into a little toe stretch now. So we're going to come up a little, tuck our toes. See if we can tuck our toes round. You might have to do it physically like I'm doing it. Spread the toes out. And then maybe you're just leaning forwards a little bit, or maybe you can sit all the way back on your heels. Depends on how tight the toes are. And remember, we've still got to breathe. So they feel really tight. Come forwards just a little bit. And that will take a little bit of the stretch out of the toes. So we're breathing here, 5 breaths. See how slow and long you can make your breathing. And then gently untucking the toes and coming back to sitting. We're going to come into our extended child's pose now. So what that looks like is our big toes are together and our knees are wide apart. And we're going to bring our hands in between our body. Hands are about shoulder width apart if you've got someone helping you. And we're going to look at the floor. So creep the hands forwards, and we still want to keep our bottoms in contact with our heels. Stretching through the back. Maybe you can come all the way down. Maybe you can come a little bit further. So in yoga, it's not about how far you go. It's making sure you feel a little bit of a stretch in the yoga poses, but you can still breathe easily. And then from here, we're going to take our hands over to the left-hand side. So a little bit of a twist. And then slowly back over to the right-hand side. And then coming back to center again, and we'll creep the hands up back towards our body. We're going to come to lying down now and come into Sphinx pose. So to lie down on our tummies, and we have to have our elbows under our shoulders. And our hands are extending, so they're coming straight out from where the elbows are. Hands are flat on the floor. Can you make your hands as flat as pancakes? The fingers are spread. And we're pushing into the hands and dropping the shoulders away from the ears. Sphinx. So you can imagine the Sphinx statues in Egypt by the pyramids. So making sure the shoulders are dropping down, so we've got all that space for the chest. And then we're going to try twisting a little bit. So we're going to push into that left hand so the arm becomes straight and look over our left shoulder. And then we're going to come back to center, push into the right hand and look over the right shoulder. So we're going to do that 4 more times. So taking your time. So we're twisting our spines, twisting our bodies. Maybe you can look a little bit further around over your shoulder now. And coming back to center. Bring the hands back towards your chest and coming up into cat and cow. So we have to make sure our hands are beautifully spread on the floor. They're under our shoulders. The knees are under our hips. And we're going to breathe in and look forwards. And we're going to make the belly move towards the floor. And then as we breathe out, we're going to curl the spine round. So the spine, our back is going up to the sky and we're looking towards our knees. So coming forwards and coming back. Slowly coming forwards and then slowly coming back. So as we breathe in, if you can breathe in with this movement, looking forwards, dropping the belly, and then breathing out to look back between your legs or towards your knees and taking the back up to the sky. And if you've got sore wrists, you can come down onto your elbows. So you can get a really lovely similar stretch on the elbows. And then making this your last one. And slowly coming back to sitting. And if you're on your wrists for a while, sometimes they can get a little bit sore. So we're going to make some circles with our wrists to ease off any tightness. Lovely. Now we're going to come into almost like a Baddha Konasana, we call it, bound angle pose, bringing the soles of the feet together. And often we do it quite tight in. But today we're going to bring the feet out a little bit further away from our body, dropping the shoulders down. And we're going to come into a forward fold here. So what I want you to think about is bringing your heart towards your feet. So we'll breathe in, sitting tall, breathing out, trying to reach our feet with our heart. And then we're coming forwards a little bit more. And we're going to bring our hands or fingertips over to the left. And then we're going to walk our fingertips or hands over to the right. So we're going to do this 5 times as well. So that was 1. This is 2, and you're looking at the floor. So that keeps our necks really nice and safe. I've lost count already, so hopefully that's 5. We're going to come back to center, and then we're going to hold our toes. Hopefully you can reach them, and bring our heart towards our toes a little bit more. And then we can slowly come up to sitting. This time we're going to bring our feet flat on the floor. Our knees are bent. So we're going to bring the feet parallel. And what that means is they're in line with each other, and it almost looks like they're on train tracks. The toes are pointing forwards. And then from here, we're going to fold forwards again. So breathing in, sitting tall. Breathing out, you can bring your hands down through the middle and come as far as you can. Now, maybe you are very flexible, and if you are, great. And if you're not, it doesn't matter, because if you're flexible, you can come a little bit further. If you're just here, that's fantastic. And if you practice this a little bit every day, you'll end up bringing your whole body a little bit further. Making sure you're breathing. And then slowly bringing the hands back up to center. We're going to come into cosmic egg pose now. All the way in, we're going to tuck in and see if we can bring our toes off the floor. So you can have the toes on the floor, or you can create a bit of a balance and tuck the knees in. And then from here, you can rock down onto your back. So just making sure you're safe to do that. And then rocking up and rocking down. Should feel quite nice, a massage for the back. And then this is the last one, bringing the feet back down to the floor. So from here, we're going to extend our feet up. So we're going to reach up with the right leg, bring the hands to either side of the body, and we'll make some circles with the ankles in one direction. And then can you do it in the other direction? It's always harder one way. And then we can point and flex the toes. And we're going to bring that knee in for a really good hug. And then we can bring the hands up down to the sides of the body and stretch that leg up in the air. And we want to try and keep our hips on the floor. So try not to lift the hips up, keep them on the floor, and we can reach that leg up in the air. Gently drop that foot down. And we've got to do it all on the other side. So lifting up the left leg, making some circles in one direction and then circles in the opposite direction. Point and flex the foot. And then drawing that left knee into the chest, giving it a really good hug. Slowly reaching up through the heel. You're reaching up through that leg, straighten that leg up. I'm getting a little bit of a stretch down the back of the legs. And bringing the foot back down. We're going to start windscreen wipering our legs now. So taking the feet a little bit wider apart, toes are still pointing forwards. Maybe the hands are outstretched if you've got enough space, or they're down by the side of the body, whatever's possible for you today. And we're gently taking the knees to one side and gently taking the knees to the other side. And slowly come up to center. We're going to come back now to bring our hands on our belly, to focus on the breath for a moment. So breathing in, feeling the hands rise with the belly. And as you breathe out, feeling how the hands shrink with the belly. And then we're going to bring both legs up in the air. Now, if you're able to move towards a wall or a chair or a sofa, you can maybe rest your legs on a chair or up against a wall or a sofa, whatever's possible. If not, you can have, we're not going to be here for too long, you can have your legs in the air where you are. Having the hands, the palms face up to the ceiling. And still breathing into the belly like we were with the hands on the belly, still directing the breath into the belly. If you've got support with a chair or a wall, you'll be able to stay there for a little longer. If you've got your legs up in the air like me, you can gently bring them down and bring the feet to the floor. Still breathing, slow, even breath. And gently opening the eyes if the eyes are closed. Rolling over onto one side and using your hands, take your time to come up to a comfortable seated position. So that might be kneeling again, it might be cross-legged. And finding that lovely tall spine, beautiful posture. And then we'll bring our hands together at heart center. So this joins both halves of our body together in something called Anjali Mudra. So this is a mudra, a hand gesture in yoga. Sitting tall. It takes quite a lot of work. All the muscles in the back have got to work hard to make sure we've got lovely, strong postures. And this gives our breath a little bit more space, our lungs some more space to breathe. And then to finish our yoga session, we'll take our hands up to our foreheads to remind us to have kind thoughts, to our lips to remind us to have kind words, and back down to my heart center to remind us to have kind actions. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for a little bit of floor-based yoga today. A short session, but hopefully you enjoyed stretching your body out and focusing a little bit on the breath. I will be back soon with some more floor-based yoga, but until then, it's bye from me.